All right, welcome back, homeowners. I want to talk about today homeowners cutting insurance to buy groceries. On my last episode, I did talk about homeowners are in crisis and, how the tables are turning and shifting. I want to talk about the real numbers or the real impact that it's having on us to where we're starting to see these articles come out that homeowners are saying, okay, well, I cannot afford this insurance and groceries at the same time. You guys, we're going to hop into that. But first, I do want to bring something to your attention, which I do every episode. If you all follow me, you know what I'm about to bring up. I just got to do it. This is something that I just believe in, and I just have to bring it to the stage. Right, here we go. If you see something, say something. You're going to have to report this child sex trafficking, or even if you know a child that is being molested or a child has confided in you that this has happened to them. It is our duty as adults, and children also need to know as well that don't be afraid. The sooner you tell, the better the outcome can be, and we can get them arrested, them put in jail. I don't know if they'll get right back out, just depending on who's for them or whatever. But as long as we are reporting this, right? I believe that every child deserves protection. Every voice matters. You see something, say something. Call the National Human Trafficking Hotline at 1-888-373-7888. Again, that number is 1-888-373-7888. Now, I want to bring another thing to the stage to even show you how dangerous this is. I talked to you all about, a wolf in sheep's clothing. Me personally, I say to parents, grandparents, godmoms, or whoever, uncles, do not let your children stay the night at anyone's house anymore. They have a bed at home. They need to sleep at home. You understand what I'm saying? They need to sleep at home. I want to bring this to the stage so you can understand the images of what I'm researching, and as I get further into
13-year-old girl that was being, while someone would stand there and read the Bible to her. Some of them were saying, let's just grow our next victim. And he was doing it on a Florida Gator blanket. So many of them work in places with kids.
This young lady was being molested while at the same time someone was reading the Bible to her and saying, let's grow our next victim. Let's grow our next advocate for us, our next person that's going to do it to someone else. Growing a community of abusers, and they start them as children. To me, that's sickening and sad. And then at the same time, you're reading the Bible while this is taking place. Can you imagine the shame and the scarring of the church? The church, the Bible. Why would you want to use the Bible to do such a horrible act? I'm telling you guys, the assignment, they're after our children, right? And listen, me personally, if you're gay and you've come out and say, I'm gay, I'm homosexual, I'm bi, I'm trans, whatever it is, I almost respect you. I respect you more than those who are hiding behind the word of God and know that you are doing these acts to these children. You are wolves in sheep clothing. I pretty much respect those who will come out and say who they are, so I'll know who they are. Like, I don't know, white supremacists. Come out and say who you are, so I'll know who you are, to where you don't have to hide behind anything. I know what I'm dealing with, right? If you're a killer, you need to say that you're a killer. Don't hide behind this God and the church and and you know what you're doing. That gives the word of God, that makes it so hard to bring on believers, because they will say, this is what the church did to me. This is what the Catholic Church did to me. This is what those priests did to those young boys all those years, and they would not let them go or report them so they can be charged. They will transfer them to another location to do it all over again. Reading the Bible. You guys, we cannot allow this to go any further. And I give a standing ovation to those of the Jeffrey Epstein women that are forming together and coming together and understand that they have power and they also have a voice to stop this from happening to anyone else. This is why my videos go a little longer than what they should, because I get into this topic and it just hurts my heart. Ever since I saw that movie, I think it was The Sound of Music, and I saw these poor kids and these women, you cannot trust these women either. Listen, if you don't know them, don't leave your children anywhere anymore. Don't have your children doing sleepovers and going to camps where they're going to camp for a whole week and you don't know what's going on. Those days are over with. They should have been over with a long time ago. You cannot trust these people unless they're very close friends of yours, family members of yours, and you understand what the assignment is with them, right? And you have to teach your children. No matter what anyone says to you, they're going to do something to your parents. Don't you tell anyone. You better tell someone. If someone is touching you inappropriately down, you have to teach your children how important those areas are so they'll know that they're being violated. All right, I'll let it go for right now, but I'm just telling you all, I am an advocate for our children because I know the assignment that they get our children while they're young. They are just continuing. They're continuing the trend. They're continuing the behavior. I have to get my words together of that behavior so it can duplicate itself over and over and over again, because at some point someone did it to them as well. But we become adults and we understand that it's wrong and we have to seek help for that. All right. So we're going to go ahead and go into our episode. I'm so sorry, you guys. I get so passionate about it. But I just want you all to understand that when we're talking about home ownership, and I always mix insurance in this because insurance is my background. I'm an adjuster. I've done property for a while. I've always dealt with homeowners. So I pretty much know the struggle. I pretty much know what's the cost, what happens and how things are supposed to work. And usually, honestly, insurance is supposed to give us a peace of mind. But many families today feels like insurance is more like a luxury. Like a luxury watch. I got a Rolex on. It ain't something I really need, but it's a luxury for me right now. Another luxury will be, I don't know, this microphone I have. That's a luxury because I can just use, the mic on my computer, but I just wanted a better sound quality, and I'm not quite sure if I'm getting it, but it just looks like I'm doing something here, right? That's a luxury. Let me think. These earrings are a luxury because I don't have to have these earrings, or even this new lipstick I'm trying to wear, do something different, see how it's going to look. I'm dibbling and dabbling in some lipsticks here and lip glosses. That's a luxury. But listen, insurance on our home, it's not supposed to be a luxury. Insurance on our home is pretty much a need because you don't know when the next storm is coming. Our weather is so unpredictable. It's like you got to have homeowners insurance, at least the bare minimum. And then on top of it, it seems like you have to have another type of a policy, like an umbrella policy to go along with that, because there's so many different things that are happening now. I did an episode about, your child can go get into a car accident with your car, right? You need an umbrella policy because you have limits, or you can have an event at your home, someone get hurt, someone get killed, they're coming for your homeowner's insurance and they're going to go beyond. That's why you need that umbrella policy of at least $1 million. But we're not even going to go there because I've done an episode about that, but I may revisit it. But I'm just talking about the basics, right? In our country, report shows that nearly 30% of Americans have downgraded or cancel a form of coverage just to keep up with their mortgage and groceries. And for homeowners, this squeeze is dangerous because losing your coverage means losing your safety net. Pretty much our homes is not just a roof. It's pretty much a foundation for us that gets us started. This is why I really want to equip homeowners. You know what? We got this home, but we can't stop there. We have to be creative. We have to make sure that we have other lines of income coming in. We can't just depend on that one income, and you should know that now. You should know that now. As maybe someone who has been released or fired from the Department of Education, because they're cutting back on that, or a government agency that has been shut down, or the cuts to the government. I'm quite sure they did not see that coming. And we do have to really start with reality, right? The average U.S. homeowner now pays nearly $3,000 a year for coverage. This is insurance, right? And that's for those with excellent credit. If you got excellent credit, it's going to be about $2,260. And listen, I'm going to tell you another thing, what I want us to understand. Everybody's not struggling. Everybody's not struggling. I think some of us have gotten to the point to where we understand the assignment is that we have to just not own a home, but we have to own other things outside our home that is valuable. Because I meet plenty of people that are not struggling, but the majority of us are. We're one paycheck away from losing our home, losing everything that we work for. And listen, and when you're getting this insurance, they're even checking your credit for that, right? So if you got pretty decent credit, you'll probably get, your insurance about $2,260, a year. But for those with poor credit, it can be more than $7,200 a year. That's a mortgage payment. That's several months of groceries. So when households are stretched thin, insurance becomes the first thing they decide to cut. And I cannot act like I don't understand that, because I definitely do. I understand that. But I want to show you all this video I want to show you all proof of what I'm talking about, because there's a gap going on here. And I believe that homeowners are the backbone of this country. Do you remember when I think it was the 2008 crisis came, the home industry burst, and this country sunk so low? That's why I know we're the backbone. And this is why I am determined to equip us, just not with insurance, but make sure that we understand that we have to protect ourselves, and we got to be smart about our investment. I want to bring to the stage a news article or news recording that I saw. I'm pretty much speaking on the same thing that I talk about. I want to bring this to the stage for you right now and understand what this means when we don't have groceries, or trying to understand which one.
Most clearly these days at the grocery store, but you can also see it at food banks, where people who never dreamed they'd need it are turning for help. Even some with six-figure incomes are struggling to feed their families. Mark Strassman has tonight's Eye on America from Wallingford, Connecticut.
Forget the image you may have of people who are hungry. In America, hunger is now as mobile as this food bag serving a line 60 deep in Connecticut.
Being under financial stress takes a lot of time, a lot of planning, sometimes.
Take Chandra Kelsey, grocery shopping on a tight budget for her family of 5.
It's whatever's on sale.
Food insecurity eats at her, a lifelong trauma.
You remember going to food banks?
Mm-hmm.
What was it like?
The first time I did it, I cried. To be in a position where you are doing okay and then you lose everything the next day, it's humbling. It's scary.
And yet you'd never suspect need has lived with this family.
Household income is roughly?
$150, 2 people working full-time. Sometimes I work 2 jobs.
How can you make $150,000 and be food insecure?
That's not what you bring home after taxes. Right. We have mortgage, insurance. We've got one kid on their way to college, one in college. Something as small as, $1,000 expense could throw things off significantly. This one's crazy looking.
On and off for a decade, Kelsey has relied on help from Connecticut Food Share, the state's largest food bank. She and two of her children now give back by volunteering here. All this food, and it's still not enough. Nationally, more than 50 million people need help getting food from charities like this one. Here in Connecticut, that's 1 in 8 people.
They're your neighbor, they're your friend, they could be your family.
Jason Jakubowski, Connecticut Food Share CEO, told us demand for their food jumped 23% last year. He expects another double-digit increase this year.
Are you seeing more people with higher incomes who need your help?
100%. Many of them come to us and say, I donated to you for years, and I never in a million years thought I would have to use this service.
What has changed?
A lot of economic unpredictability. They're scared.
Yeah. And this is why I have homeowners. You heard her say in that video, we have mortgage and we have insurance. And that even though you make 150, that's not what you bring home. And it's true. It's true. But think about it. It's 2 of them that's making a combined 150. So I don't know, maybe somebody's doing 75,000, 75 or whatever. You're splitting up those 2 incomes together. I want to teach us to where we're bringing home more than that. And we're paying off these homes. And I know some people say don't pay off your home, but listen, at least you can have something paid off that's yours, right? I want to teach homeowners to understand that with those 2 people, 150, they got a family of 5, somebody 2 in college. You have 1 slip up, it throws off everything. Don't let your car broken. My truck is broke right now. I have a GMC Sierra. Transmission went out. I didn't realize that was the trend for these GMC Sierras, right? I had one before and it lasted a long time, under 300,000 miles, right? And the transmission was going then. That's at 300,000. So when I decided to get a new car, because I hold on to my cars, I love my trucks, I decided to go back with the GMC Sierra. So I'm 3 years into having my GMC Sierras almost paid off. What do I have? I have a transmission problem. My truck is at the shop right now with almost a $7,000 bill. Yeah, I paid off majority of it, but I'm trying to get the rest of it to get my truck out of the shop. But just think about that. As someone who's tight with their income and you have that to happen. Now, me personally, I sort of blamed it on myself because I should have did a little bit more research, even though I had a GMC Sierra before and I felt like it was great and I love my truck. I'm going to be honest with you. But GMC knows that they put faulty transmissions in those trucks, I think from 2015, 16 up until 2021 or something like that. My truck is a 2019. When I bought my truck, I only had like 20-some thousand miles on it. But here I am, I got a transmission problem and a huge transmission bill with that. And somebody said to me, why don't you just trade it in? But I'm like, I'm not in a position to trade it in right now. Last year, I was out of work for 6+ months. I also had a trucking company that really took a toll on my business finances and also on my personal finances and my personal credit. So it's not just so easy, when someone is saying, well, you need to just take this turn, take that turn. It's not easy like that. It's not easy. And it's that you have to make decisions. And I can understand, I can truly understand how it feels to be strapped and then you don't have work anymore. And as you know, that happens. At the same time, you're thinking that you prepared so much and I don't even know if it's even a thing about really over preparing. This is why I'm just so consumed about our homeowners, because we invest in these homes. We put money, thousands of dollars into these homes, not to lose them and not get anything out of it. I'm like, at this point, I don't want no home going to foreclosure. If we can get these homes sold to someone to where you walk away with something, not just you downright losing, we have to equip you guys really great. We got to start equipping these homeowners because we are the backbone of this country. I know that for sure. We're the backbone. And when this here starts going down, oh, everything goes down, right? Now, listen here. I'm going to tell you what cutting really looks like, right? It doesn't always mean dropping coverage completely. Some homeowners are just downgrading from full replacement costs to actual cash values, or others are raising their deductibles. So, so it don't be, your payment isn't so high, but you don't want to have the deductible so high to when you have those small claims, you're still out of pocket. But just going back to the actual cash value, right? Replacement cost is pretty much, when your home maybe $100,000 worth of damage, and they go by, your actual cash value. That's the first check that you get, because we get our first check, then we get our second check. Your second check is going to be depreciation that they held, right? That's pretty much your replacement cost value. So they're going to hold that depreciation until some companies you send in a signed contract, or you show that the work is done. They'll send you the rest of the remaining of it. That's replacement cost. But you can get a cheaper policy, which is actual cash value, to where you're only getting that first check, the actual cash value, because you don't have a full replacement policy. You have the actual cash value. They're going to pay you that, and that's it. Whatever is depreciated, whatever's depreciated, you don't get that back. And I just recently read an article where I think it's State Farm that is being sued, and they're saying that the software they use are depreciating. They are depreciating too much. And I know they use Xactimate because I'm skilled in it. That's what I normally use when I work with them. So I recently saw an article on that, which I'm gonna do a video about, that they're saying they're State Farm got a lot of lawsuits that's coming at them at one time. And so this newer one is pretty much about the software they're using, Xactimate. That Xactimate is depreciating this stuff too much. They're not really giving them their full actual cash value. They're taking away too much depreciation. And those are the options that you have as homeowners. You can say, you know what, let me downgrade to actual cash value right now. So pretty much you get something, right? But you don't get the depreciation that that was held back or was taken away because, things depreciate over time, right? And again, like I did say, others are raising deductibles so high that small claims won't be covered. That happens. But then you say, okay, well, my small claim isn't covered. But I tell you what, if a hurricane come through here, I know I'm covered. Or a tornado come through here, or my house catch on fire, I should be covered, right? And some are also cutting endorsements like flood or wind coverage, betting that they won't need it. Now, one of the things that sort of strike me, when I was looking at a policy in Florida, one of my aunt's friends wanted to discuss her policy, and I come to find out that she has a wind exclusion policy. And I'm like, there's no way you live South Florida, Fort Pierce, Florida, along the Treasure Coast, and you're going to have a policy with a wind exclusion? What do we get? Wind. Hurricane, wind, and now those hurricanes come with flood. It comes with flood now. Yes, it comes with flood now. So getting rid of those, your flood and your wind exclusion, that is something I'm not quite sure about. I think I would pretty much play around with maybe getting a higher deductible instead of having instead of cutting those, right? I definitely wouldn't want to cut those, because see, when disaster strikes, these families may realize it too late that they're not protected. You don't have what you need. And and one of my themes that I have with my show here is that if it rains in your area, it can flood. I know they have flood zones. There's areas that normally flood, but now we are seeing that there are areas that are flooding that normally don't flood. we are in a different type of climate. And I know most people don't believe in climate change or whatever. Something's going on, right? We can't predict this weather. You can't predict when a flood is going to come. That rain come down and it comes down so quickly. And those waters will rise so quickly. You would not even understand how they rise so quickly unless you've been in it. So I'm saying I don't know about going without or having an insurance policy to where it's a wind exclusion, flood exclusion. Usually insurance, homeowners insurance don't come with flood. That is an endorsement or outside policy that you will have to get. But I do encourage most people, if you can't afford to get that flood policy, to me, that's a good idea, because now we see a lot of flood going on. It's just what it is, you know. And I understand that homeowners we really feel this pinch here. You know, a lot of times if you're renting, renters can sometimes skip coverage. Drivers can risk going only with liability. But homeowners, if you have a mortgage, insurance is required. And even if your home is paid off, like mine, I have a HELOC now, pretty much it's mortgage. But they look at it as a HELOC, you know, it's not a mortgage, but I look at it as a mortgage. They don't require me to make sure I have insurance, but I know I need it. And I'm gonna tell you something, the cost still feels like it's a heavy burden, especially when the rates go up. And you're like, well, wait a minute, what happened? I'm gonna tell you, when money gets tight, insurance is often the first item people think about cutting. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, people will even think about cutting their health insurance. There are so many that walk around without health insurance, and I know why some do. But man, you definitely don't want to walk around without your health insurance, and that's pretty much like your insurance on your home. That's like health insurance on your home. And I'll be honest, I've been there. I'm looking at a $300 bill a month, wondering, do I really need this right now? Especially when I was out of work for 6+ months, went through all my savings, had to close down my logistics company. That was hard. That was hard. Me letting that, if I would let the logistics company go 2 years earlier, I think I would have maybe half of my savings, but I believed in it and I really wanted it to work and I stayed with it. But when I decided to let that thing go, I didn't tell anyone, because I didn't want anyone telling me, oh, wait, just believe in God, trust God. He's going to work this out. He's going to work that out. And I'm saying to myself, well, right now, where my finances at, right now, God is just looking. He's just giving me some moral support and tell me sometime later down the road it's going to be okay. But right now I need to make a decision. I think God is telling me to let this go. So sometimes you have to make decisions without other people. That is what I learned too. But anyways, let me not go all the way there, because honey, I got some stories on that. But the truth is, one storm, one fire, one accident, you know, without coverage could mean losing your home entirely. And it's hard to rebuild. I remember when I was talking about the flooding that came through and FEMA, and someone made a comment and said, well, we're not responsible to take care of nobody else. We're not responsible to repair anybody else's home. And I said, you know, you'll say that because you're not in it. It's not affecting you right now. See, a lot of times we do things because we feel like it won't affect us. But once it starts affecting you, then you'll understand. Then you'll be like, you know, who's here to help me? Where's FEMA? Can my neighbor help me? What's going on in our local community? Who's going to help us rebuild? That's why I say you never know how the table's going to turn. You better watch your mouth and watch what you're saying, because this life is unpredictable. One minute you think you got it together, next minute it's not so, right? So anyways, let me not go all the way down that deep hole. But this is what I'm just saying, as community, as people, as homeowners, we got to be smart. No more taking this stuff and laying down and we don't know what to do. And no, we do know what to do. And you know what? You got an adjuster here that knows what to do as well when it comes about that insurance. But I'm going to equip us beyond these claims and understanding where we need to be as homeowners, right? So what can homeowners do? You can bundle your auto and your home, and sometimes I haven't bundled lately. I took mine out the bundle because it just made sense. But when I was bundling, it did make sense because it did give me a discount. But one area of the bundle, my auto insurance went up with Allstate. So I took it from Allstate and got a cheaper rate and kept my home with them. But I tell you one thing, I'm going to do some more research, and I need to see if other companies have a deeper discount for me. You know, I was asking a friend who worked at Lemonade. I was like, do Lemonade do homeowners insurance in Georgia? He said, yes. That's why I'm getting ready to check them out because I want to cut costs. And that's the thing, you guys. We got to look at not having so many luxuries and start cutting costs in areas that we really don't need. So when we have downsides or downgrades come in our life, we've already taken the initiative to let some things go, you know, that would have taken $60, $70. I know some people saying $67, that's nothing. $60 or $70 can mean a lot. You know, like I said, that's 2 bags of groceries, right? You can get discounts when you do bundle, right? Raise your deductible carefully. Don't go so high that you can't afford it, right? Shop around annually. Listen, loyalty doesn't always save money. Do you know when I am doing claims, I'm adjusting claims, I hear from homeowners all the time, I've been with you all 50 years, 40 years, 20 years. I'm like saying, why? Loyalty don't get you anything. It doesn't. Why would you do that? These insurance companies aren't loyal to you. When they get ready to raise those rates, they don't call you and say, oh, what can we do not to raise your rates? They don't do that. So stop being loyal to an insurance company and you shop around. You get the best price and the best coverage, right? All right. Now, roof retrofits, your storm shutters, even plumbing upgrades can cut your premiums. You know that, right? If you go get that new roof, it's like a class 4 or whatever, and your contractor give you that form, you take it to your agent. Let your agent know that you've had those upgrades done and see how your premium come down. For that roof, it can be your plumbing. What else it can be? Let me see what else. Your shutters, your windows, those things can help cut your premium costs. If you get those things done, you make sure you let them know. If you don't let them know, they won't know, right? These steps will help balance protection with affordability. You want to take these steps. Listen, here's the bottom line. Cutting coverage may help today, but it puts your future at risk. Insurance is expensive, but losing your home can cost far more. I want you to be smart. Reshop, adjust, advocate for yourself. You know, most of the time I say we have our agents. Our agents are supposed to be our advocates, but sometimes they even slip up. I don't think sometimes they even know what they're supposed to do, but they're supposed to advocate for us. They're supposed to fight for us. I've worked with plenty of agents that have fought for their customers. I'm not going to lie. And you have some that are by the wayside and don't care, right? But let me tell you something. Don't leave your home unprotected. Don't leave it unprotected. We got to find a way to keep protection. We got to find a way to equip homeowners to where we have another source of income, to where we're just not relying on someone's job, right? We are the backbone of this country. Don't forget that. Do not forget that. We have to be smart from here on out. And listen, and don't forget that we created the Claim Game Plan Toolkit for homeowners to help you review your coverage and prepare before disaster strikes. That link is in the description. I took my time and I created that, and I had it formatted so beautifully for you. So you can save that as a PDF. You can save it in your files on your phone where you'll have that. That's a good tool for you. So you want to make sure you get that, okay? Listen, drop a comment below. Would you cut your coverage to pay your bills? Would you cut your insurance coverage to pay for groceries? What sacrifices are you willing to make? What sacrifices are you making to keep your home protected? You guys, we have some things we got to think about. We have to talk about, and we got to get educated. You know, we want to stay educated. We want to stay covered, and we always want to keep it beyond the claim because it goes beyond the claim. All right. So let's talk about it. I will see you on the next episode. Take care.